This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Well, every golfer wants to come home, and here we are at the home of golf, the old course at St. Andrews. Rich Slaughter alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports.
Yeah, and Rich, this is just a wonderful place to play the game. Every player that's ever sort of learnt to swing the golf club, this is the one course they wanted to play. The reason why is because every great this game has ever seen has walked across Saucon Bridge.
Frank, this is no ordinary opening tee shot. This is the opening shot at the old course at St. Andrews. So are you inspired, intimidated, nervous? Where are the emotions at?
Oh, all of the above. And this opening tee shot will never get old, that's for sure. It looks like a wide open hole. Really, you don't want to be looking right or left because it's out of bounds, even though it's a well way right and a long way left. You basically aim it at the 17th green is a good line for your opening tee shot.
Frank, on the second shot here at this first hole, a player will get a good sense of the winds here and how they can play a role at the old course.
And they'll also get a good sense of exactly how punishing this golf course can be, and with such the smallest things. For example, that burn is only about 3 or 4 yards across, and yet it is punishing to say the least.
On the green, and a chance for birdie here on the first hole. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Just a couple of feet. And so just getting started, even par so far. Here we are now at the second. Always so important to try and establish a good round in these opening holes, Frank.
In the second hole, especially with a prevailing breeze and today's modern equipment, the odd player has actually driven this green, but you really see the tone of the golf course. The middle of the golf course is protected. There's a series of bunkers down there, but left is always the safe side of the golf course, because the best line to play your second shot from on the whole golf course is always the right side, and we see that here at the second.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really it was a rather poor approach shot.
Pretty good stroke right there. Just hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
Could use this. A putt for par. That is a solid par putt. Frank, talk about the strategy off the tee here at the third.
You can drive the ball pretty close to this green, Rich. It's shorter than the second hole. Just hit it down the right side, but try and avoid those little pot bunkers.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. That will be a great look at birdie. Shouldn't be a problem here. Has the putt, and now at -1. Frank, now at the fourth hole.
Yeah, long par 4. Two choices, whether you game enough to drive it down the right or down the left, which is a much wider piece of fairway. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. And that one rolls just into the rough.
Now you have to decide whether or not that ball's going to fly or not.
Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. So from the rough back to the fairway, that's the right way to go.
Yeah, didn't take the bait, and at least now he's only going to play the price of a poor tee shot. Still got a good chance, though, getting away with par.
Just an incredible shot. That is a very makeable putt after a great approach. Well played. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Good stroke right there. That's a par and stays at 1 under. Par 5s, this is where players look to make the move in a major championship. How does this 5th hole par 5 measure up, Frank?
Well, if you can avoid the bunkers, they're actually left and right, but especially that little group of 3 bunkers, then it sets up well. It'll be a blind second shot, but you try and guide your second shot between the 2 bunkers on the hill in front of you, which are called the spectacles. Oh, that's got to be 300 yards, isn't it?
Second shot coming up here at the par 5.
That's an absolute beauty.
Third shot, looking for a good one. On the green in regulation. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Right off the edge. Wow.
That hurts.
So they'll tap in. Did the job right there. Moving on to the par 4 6th hole here at the birthplace of golf. This hole shares a green actually with the 12. How do you work your way around this hole, Frank?
Some sort of tee shot. 3 bunkers that look like they're in the left center of the fairway and a series of bunkers down the right. So somehow bisect those, and then you set yourself up to a green with a false front.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
On the green, and the chance for birdie. Locked in on the read and the speed. Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
Stays at 1 under with that par. Continuing from the oldest championship in the game. It's the Open Championship at the Old Course at St. Andrews. Here at the 7th hole now, Frank.
Yeah, you try and hit your tee shot over a little stone there. It's called the March stone. That's a good line for, like, left of center. And, well, if you can just work it off that, good tee shot, you're only going to have a pitch in here to a green that's set up very high.
Well, this looks good.
Certainly is.
It is a windy day out here, Frank. My hat just blew off. This is going to affect the player's shots, that's for sure. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Doing whatever he wants with that golf ball. Moving it left, moving it right, hitting it straight when it's called for. He's doing it all. Good score going. Now at 2 under par. Standing on the tee at the par 3 8th here at the Old Course. And Frank, what are we looking at here?
One of the biggest greens on the golf course. It looks flat, it looks like it's easy, but once that flag gets on the left side, this is when the hole becomes a little bit more difficult. It's very easy to take this hole for granted. Very hard to hit it close, though.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. 18-footer.
Well, we'll never know if that had gone in because it never made it.
Just a little tap in here. 2 under on the day. Rounding out the opening 9 here at St. Andrews. And Frank, this par 4 features a couple of fairway bunkers that players will have to contend with.
Yeah, this is a fun hole when you first stand on that tee and look at it. You see those bunkers smack bang in the middle of the fairway. The last bunker there in the middle is called the end hole. This hole is called the end. But this green, too, is so flat, very, very difficult to read. But if you get there, pull the head cover off the driver. Remember, this is the only chance you get to play the Old Course.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Frank, this one looks like it might have a postage stamp on it. Airmail City.
Yeah, lick it, send it.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Wow. That's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Oh, I thought he had that. Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Nice par to remain at 2 under. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that hanging in the sky.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Ready for his second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Just a bit left of the hole location.
Should still be okay.
Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. That's birdie, and that's just another example of how everything seems to be clicking today, especially on the greens.
Yeah, good green reading too. You've got to take your hat off to that. The line has been perfect and the pace has matched it.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play, very solid. That's good stuff right there. Wonderful approach, and now a really good look at birdie. From about 8 feet. Well, you have to like that. 4 under. Now at the 12th, and Frank, when you put the peg in the ground here, are you licking your chops?
Well, you are, unless you're playing into a head breeze. Because if you are playing a head breeze, then you've got to worry about the 4 bunkers that are in the middle of this fairway. Touch of help, or if you're a long hitter, then all you've got to do is worry about that little pot bunker just short of this green. There is gorse left and right.
Well, that is a really good tee shot right there, Frank.
I think that tipped the 300-yard mark.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Down, little Sheba, down! Just averted danger right there, so close.
Why does he have all the luck?
Frank, 2 is nice, but
3 is even better.
Well, how about this little move? 5 under par now. 2 straight birdies. Moving on now to the par 4 13th. Frank, what's the strategy here?
Once again, to avoid those pot bunkers, the first one is called nicks, and then the other 2 up ahead, once again, they're called the coffins. Somehow you've got to go right or left of those or beyond those. If you can go in the exact right position, which is slightly left center, you will actually have a full view of this green. The left or right of that, and it's a blind second shot.
Good tee shot right in the short grass. Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot. Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
Looks like he just misread that. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, the 14th is a big par 5, chance to make a big move, but also possibility of making a big number if you're not careful.
Yeah, you've got to be very aware of the out of bounds on the right side, even though it does move to the right. Ideal tee shot is down the right side that gets very close to that, because then that opens up the second shot and keeps that tee shot away from that crop of bunkers called the birdies. There's a big cross bunker up ahead that has to be avoided for the second shot. If you're long enough, you can reach this par 5 and 2, but this green with so many undulations that it is anything other than flat. Second shot.
Third shot, looking for a good one. Oh, get down. Look out.
It's over. The green.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Starting to put something special together, 6 under par. Back here at the 15th, and Frank, this fairway narrows up in a hurry.
And it's also, there's a big crop of heather that sort of constrains you if you're going to hit it just straight down the middle. Only the brave go down the right side. It brings in those little bunkers called robs, and they'll rob your scorecard, that's for sure. Oh, if this is up, it's good.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie.
It's no snack, though.
Stacking birdies, that's how you put a score on the board. So 2 straight and headed in the right direction. And now another par for the 16th, Frank, and another hole where precision off the tee is going to be paramount.
Yeah, the norm off the tee is really to avoid a series of 3 bunkers called the principal's nose. I've never really figured out why they're called that, but it's not the place to be, that's for sure. Stay short of those is the safe line, and then a little pop bunker once again in the front left of the screen called the wig. That's also to be avoided. Another difficult green. Looks a little simpler from the fairway, but miss your mark with the yardage and you'll pay a premium.
How good was that, Frank, from the rough?
Oh, that's amazing. That's a masterclass in short game.
Frank, this would jumpstart the round. A 3rd straight birdie.
Some good playing.
That moves them to 8 under par. 2 straight birdies. Frank, this really is an amazing hole. The road hole, 17 at the old course.
Yeah, the biggest problem really is the tee shot right in front of you. How brave are you? How much can you take it over the corner of that clubhouse? You'll see a sign in front of you, the old course hotel. Ideally, you want to take it over the U in course, and that should find the center of the fairway. You go a little further right of that, then you better hit it long.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Second shot, good look at the green. bit unfortunate in the bunker, Frank.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what his bunker play's like.
All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
That's one of the more depressing sights in golf. You've hit a good one, and then it just sucks back too much spin off the green. Shot now from the rough. Frank, what's he facing?
Well, the lie first and foremost. If it's sitting down, then obviously you're not going to get a very good contact. Nothing wrong with coming up a little bit short of the green. Problem is turning one mistake into another.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. And that's a bogey. Well, when you stick your tee into the hallowed grounds here on the 18th at the old course at St. Andrews, Frank, you know you're playing a piece of history.
And a chance, too, to finish it off in style, because this par 4 is reachable. A lot of people will aim at the clock tower, which is on the R&A building in the distance. That's a little left of this green. And if you feel a little brave and you want to make a hero of yourself, just aim a little further right, exactly where the green is. Avoid the valley of sin, and you might just have a wee dram at the end of the day.
Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. About 99 yards to the hole.
Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
You can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable, that never deviated offline.
Moves to -8. Frank, just some great golf here today.
Yeah, that's a round to remember. Not often you play that well and you feel like you were heading